Happy Monday. How are you guys? How's everyone? Um, it's quite fascinating. I look back on my videos, and the ones that have most views, not comments, but views, are the ones that are curiosity, or people want to question the things. And I think people look for answers and think that there's some people here who are psychic and they can tell you all the answers that you're looking for. And I was at a festival yesterday, and it was a love festival where all of the tribes and hipsters and gypsies gather, and they make loud noise, music's playing, a lot of potheads, smoking their pot, and the electro kids who are dropping Molly and all this stuff. But it crossed my mind in concept. Hey, it crossed my mind in concept that there's some people who settle in the moment, and I think in the moment, there's two sides to the moment. There's I want to answer now moment, and then there's I'm just gonna let everything be as it is in the moment. And I try to send precaution to people who, and not like I know everything, but I think when I'm in conversations with folks and they say things, I can't really convince them out of anything. That's not what I'm here for. But some things resonate with me, or I have intuitive senses that make me think, well, you probably shouldn't want to guide yourself in that way, because sometimes being in the moment limits and blocks and puts boundaries around expansion. We're here to expand. That's the whole primary source of why we're here. And I had an epiphany too, regarding beginning of time to now, like how everything started. And if anybody wants to know, get a head start at these futuristic things. Hello, sun rays. Yeah. Um, these futuristic things that, not futuristic, but how it all started. We were electric beings, and from electric we evolved into cartilage and flesh, and then from flesh we became verbal, and then from verbal we became dominant, and then we became submissive. We became the divine feminine. That's where we're at now. And now we're going into sixth root race, and I have a link below about root races. But long story short, I think we have the wrong perception of humankind, mankind. We always think we were oppressed since the beginning, but no, it's more of like we are building something from bottom to top. That is actually what's happening, what has been happening. We've been building this whole time. And there's this whole story about all these, astral beings and beings from other planets and whatnot who answered a distress call of Earth and came here to seed the Earth and to change everything. But that's not, that's totally false. Like, I had a dream vision, and basically what it's kind of weird, my dreams lately. I used to have vivid details. Now it's just blank, but my mind is very certain of these things that I'm talking about. Basically it was to go from electric to solid and to fulfill the environment. We actually co-created this from scratch, and it wasn't like God created everything and everyone. We actually all co-created. We were just shards of what the Almighty was. The Almighty is source, and if he had gave breath to one source, and it multiplied. Um, if you guys are following what I'm saying, that breath of life has always been in mankind since the beginning. Mankind's weird. Mankind means like man. It doesn't mean man of earth. And that's what I think a lot of the biblical scriptures get wrong about homosexuality. They say man should not lie with mankind. And I'm like, if people can just reiterate man and mankind should not lie with each other, it was really about the fallen angels. The fallen shall not lie with the seed of man. That's been so misinterpreted. But going back to topic, I think we get our origins all mixed up, and I think it's very important to go back to origin beginnings and learn and try to take your current consciousness, the moment, and revert back to how you got to the moment. Like, I have a friend who I know and love very much, and this person, he says two things. He'll say flow, and he'll say be in the moment. But the thing about it is, you can stay in a transcendental state for a very long time and not consciously know, hey, you got to get up, you got to go to the bathroom, you got to eat, you got to feed yourself. You still have to participate in the conscious world that we're in. That's why we co-created it, because we didn't have this. We didn't have this experience outside of here. And that's why I think a lot of what they say universes and other galaxies and other people who are out there, they're all part of co-creation too, which is probably like if you were to collaborate all the galaxies into one, you'll be surprised that we are all just exactly the same. There shouldn't be weird looking human likes and this and that. That's all a false delusion, and it's also a controlled opposition. It's to get you to think and look that way, away from the source of what it really is. So it's interesting, the way that I applied all this knowledge and found all this data and information. It was really because I was at this festival yesterday, and because it was so many people in good spirits and positivity, it amplified my intuition. And I have a lot of cool stuff. I have a tiger's eye that I also got yesterday. This is actually from Peru, the reddish yellow one. And then also, to protect myself, I always wear hematite some way, somehow. I'm one of those, like, I believe that it works, or else it's funny when you have a community of people who say, like, oh, you're not supposed to worship any crystal balls and this and that because you're gonna go to hell. It's just kind of funny. It's like, I want to see where in the Emerald Tablets and the Dead Sea Scrolls where it says that you can't. And it's funny because people miss that first part, the Emerald Tablet. And the emerald is a sacred gem. It's a gemstone. So I laugh when, I hear all these, like, Baal worship, Baal lore, the Baal, Temple Baal. Babylon back then is not now. So there is no more Baal. But people are trying to keep the essence of him alive and active. And we have to learn to discern from that. Every time when we see it in every logo. Like, for example, I won't show this logo here because I'm very particular about what I display on YouTube, but I have a Jack in the Box here, and it's a black cube. Or Pandora's box. I even have a water here. I'll just show a little bit of it. And it has an earth with sun rays around it. That's sun worship. So it's just like, if we were to be so much in the moment, like I was saying, there's two sides to being in the moment. You can be paranoid and go, oh my gosh, this logo and that logo and this logo, and what kind of world do we live in? You can't get out of this world. So you can go in your state, you can try to transcend yourself out of here, but guess what? You have to come back to consciousness. which is being in space, in this space. You are a quantum matter in this space. And at the end of the day, you co-create that matter. It's almost like taking water, you know, that's consciousness, but we co-create. That's what the shaking is. We control the vibration. We send the frequency. We receive the frequency. Then we control the vibration again. The only thing that I think I'm very most concerned about these days is when you have the controllers trying to shift your vibration, or they try to send a frequency signal, let's say racism. It's a big one, because all you can do is you can bring up races at a table and everyone says one word, the president. Or the videos on Facebook about people getting shot, that shouldn't be on social media. Like, why is such a reliable source of communication allowing violence? And it's only to upset people, and they're receiving a frequency. And then when they see that frequency, guess what happens? They forward it to other people, and then they just passed along all of that nasty, dirty, gross energy. So anyways, that's enough about being in the moment and letting things fall. You are in control of your direction, and you have to always, and people say, no, that's not true, you could just be, you have to keep things forward. That's just the way everything's going. If you start with the first root race to now, things are at the very tipping point, and or if not, the tipping point has already shifted. It's really about your decisions on where to apply those shifts, because they're there in you. And I think a lot of people are seeing that they have great power. They can manifest quicker. You were talking about a song in your head or a singer in your head, and the song might come on if you're at the store. So those are all space and quantum matter responding to your co-creation. It's real and it is legit. So get on it, people. Like I always say, write in a journal how you see things, how you understand everything. And if you are in the moment where you don't want to do anything, write about it. Write about what you're receiving. Write about what you feel. Write about what you feel is going to occur or happen. But you guys are in total control now, and no more assistance. I think we'll always be assisting each other, but no more going to sources to find answers. You have them. That's the whole trip of this whole conversation I'm having, is it is in you, and you can find exactly what you're looking for. You just have to steadfast in the moment, intercede with the divine source in the moment, and whatever comes off your consciousness, write it down. There's a major thing out there, and there's a major gift that everyone has, but you have to be able to attune to it and make it happen. Alrighty, guys, I love you very much. I'll talk to you later. Even if I don't know you and you're watching, you are loved. That's what we're here for. Alrighty, bye.